Today, my men who love to explore said, "We see an ancient church ruin from your house. We want to go all the way up that hill there. We want to figure out what's going on up there and why is it abandoned." So from my bedroom window, I can see a snaky kind of road, and at the top of this hill is this ancient ruin of a church. So the nerds said to me, "Let's go on an adventure. Let's go on a hike. Let's go check out this church." The nerds decided to go inside of the church, and I was not okay with that. The ceiling was literally ginormous holes of plaster that has fallen down and all over the ground. There is pigeon poop everywhere. It's a complete ruin. Well, they had to go in. They had to go poking around. I did stick my head in. I succumbed to the pressure. It was spectacular. The frescoes on the walls, the ceiling, there's still the ancient altar there. And I'm like, wow, like what happened to this church? Why is this church here? During the great immigration of the Italians going to America, this population here in this medieval town lost a large number of its citizens. And because of that, many of the churches closed. They just closed their doors because people were emptying out and leaving for other countries. There was just no people to fill the churches. And so they started to take smaller churches, and then they would have those people go into the bigger churches in town. So thus, this particular church lost its mojo. So my husband, who is not only a nerd, but a tech nerd, he bought his fancy pantsy drone with him from the States, and he plopped that drone right through the center hole in the ceiling and got all this killer footage, which I'm sure he's going to add with pride to this video. Yeah, we had a great time. We had a really, really fun time. And, I realized that, I'm adventurous, but my men are like adventurous, like in a different way. I don't want to be like the old lady, like saying, "Oh, be careful of this. Oh, be careful of that. Oh, don't do this. Oh, don't do that." Like, they have their own compass, but at the same time, safety is important.
Welcome to the ruins of San Nicasio Church in Caccamo, Sicily, a place steeped in history, devotion, and loss. Built in the 16th century, this church once stood as a testament to faith and community. Dedicated to St. Nicasius, a knight and martyr who was beheaded during the Crusades, it was a sacred place where the townspeople of Caccamo sought protection, solace, and hope. Come, let's take a look inside. medieval arches and architecture hearken to a time when it once stood in splendor. At one time, it housed a relic of St. Nicasius, a relic that is said to have helped stop a plague in Caccamo. Time has not been kind to this once revered site. Over the centuries, the church faced neglect, theft, and changing traditions. Its ancient bells, one of which dated back to 1658, were stolen in the 1990s. The church is now closed to worship and, heartbreakingly, has been used as a barn in the past years. Now it is unsafe even for this use. Exploring the church of San Nicasio reminded us of the fragile line between preservation and loss. If these walls could talk, they would tell stories of devotion, of struggle, and of resilience. They would tell the stories of families who had their children christened here, whose young people were married here, and whose dead were held in memory. It is our hope that this piece of Caccamo's history will one day be restored and not disappear forever. Our next stop was less than 100 meters away, the ruins of the Church of the Holy Cross. Built in 1564, this small but symbolically powerful church stood as a reminder of the cross on which the Son of God was crucified. Its purpose? To stir the hearts and minds of the people of Caccamo, challenging them to confront life's ultimate questions. For centuries, crowds of devoted worshipers filled this sacred space to celebrate the feast of the Holy Cross. The air would be alive with prayer, voices reciting a plea for protection. As time passed, the church began to show its age and neglect, and a lack of restoration sealed its fate. And now, all that remains of these two churches are crumbling ruins, fragile reminders of once vibrant places of faith and reflection.